Hello students, welcome back to Learning Marathon, and this is our part 2 of modern history. Let's see the type 2 question. Okay, so the question reads, with reference to the Swadeshi movement, consider the following statements. It contributed to the revival of the indigenous artisan crafts and the industries, and the National Council of Education was established as a part of the Swadeshi movement. Okay, fine. So I just read the question, and the first question to you, why this particular question has come? Why? Because every year important movement based questions do come in prelims. Okay, so and the source is spectrum. Most possibly you have to have two sources for history. One is spectrum. You should complete this at any cost. This is very important, must read book. Okay, then Bipin Chandra. If what can I say, you can do a selective reading from Bipin Chandra. Okay, fine. So as I promised, I will answer the first question, why. So every year the reasons, course of event and outcomes of the important movements based question do come in prelims. Okay, fine. So before approaching this question, let me tell you how to read a particular movement. Take for example, I will explain you with the Swadeshi movement itself. Whenever you read a movement, after reading from several sources or only from spectrum or anything for that matter, even if your trainers teach you about that particular topic, okay, you should make a notes, and that note should consist of three parts. One is reason, why that particular movement, and what is the course of event. Okay, what happened in the movement, what type of movement it is. It is a violent movement or it's a non-violent movement, is it a mass movement or it is very confined to a particular location, all those stuffs. Okay, and the third one is what is the outcome, what is the impact of that movement, what is the result of that movement. You should understand on these three dimensions. For example, if you take Swadeshi movement, what is the reason for the Swadeshi movement? Okay, so it was in 1903 the British government gave an unofficial announcement. I am saying unofficial, okay, an unofficial announcement that we gonna partition, okay, we gonna partition Bengal. So this was an unofficial announcement by 1903. So our national leaders from 1903 till 1905 organized several movements, but at that time, and that too in this period, it was moderates who was into that politics. Okay, so okay, first of all, try to understand there are two groups of national leaders. One is moderates, another is extremists. Who are extremists? Extremists are not terrorists. Okay, extremists are those who think in some radical ideas like mass movements. So the movement should be spread all over the India, like that. So extremists do believe in some radical means, whereas moderates believe in PPP model. What is PPP model? Prayer, plea and petition. What they do is they just go and approach the government. They will write in newspapers, they will go and approach British government in London itself. All those things they will do. They will just write petition, they will request, and they will not organize a mass movement. Okay, so those are moderates and these are extremists. Okay, fine. So it was 1903 to 1905, this moderates were in majority. So it was a moderate led movement. Okay, so but they could not get any results because of this prayer, plea and petitions. So in 1905, the Lord Curzon officially announced the partition of Bengal. So Bengal was partitioned finally. So all their efforts from 1903 to 1905 went on shatters. They didn't get any fruitful results. Every extremist started to question the moderates regarding their approach, how efficient their idea is, how efficient their method is. They could not harness any fruit, right? So it was from 1905. Extremists said, give us the power, let's take up the movement, let's take up the cause, and we will launch in a fruitful results. So it was in 1905 this started. Okay, this trend started. Extremists started to dominate the movement. Okay, and it was in 1906. Very, very important statement. Okay, so it was in 1906. Dadabhai Naoroji. Just a minute. Okay. So it was Dadabhai Naoroji who took up the movement. Okay, so it was Dadabhai Naoroji who took up the presidentship of the Congress in 1906. What he said? So from 1903 till 1905, there was only one political aim. What is the political aim? Annulment of the partition. That is, abandon the partition. That is the only motto they had. From 1905 onwards, several aims started to creep into it. For example, in 1906, after Dadabhai Naoroji took up the presidentship, he said the education should be promoted. It was in 1813. The education started, like 1 lakh rupees was given for the promotion of the educations to the Indians. Then it was in 1906 where Dadabhai Naoroji said the Indians lack technical knowledge, so they are staying in the lower end job itself. So there should be a promotion of the technical education, for which Dadabhai Naoroji came up with National Council of Education. Fine. So then not only education. See, when Dadabhai Naoroji took up the presidency, he said the political aim will be annulment of the partition. The same political aim which was there in 1903 to 1905. That is, the same political aim was there, because they did not achieve it. So the same political aim continues. And social aim is to promote the education. So they need to promote the education via setting up of the National Council for Education. And they need more of technical knowledge. Okay, Indians need more of technical knowledge. So then there was also a economic ground. What is the economic aim? Is to promote the indigenous people. So indigenous people, so all artisan groups and the indigenous industries, everybody is facing distress because of the British manufacturers. Now British manufacturers are trying to suppress them. So even Dadabhai Naoroji, the great old grand man of India, understood that, and he said that the indigenous industries should be promoted. There was, you would have also studied about Acharya, soap manufacturing company and everything. Okay, so this is the thing you should understand. Okay, let me make it much more simpler. See, it was in 1903 to 1905. There was only one political aim. What is the political aim? To annulment of the partition. Just cancel the partition. That is the only aim which moderates had, and they used their PPP model, that is prayer, plea and petition. Then it was in 1905 to 1907. After 7, every extremist leaders were arrested, and that's a different story, and we need not enter into that because then it will become a lecture. Okay, so it was in 1905 to 1907, and that too in 1906 after Dadabhai Naoroji took up the presidentship. There was political aim, there was social aim, and there was also an economic aim. What is the economic aim? To promote the indigenous group. So to promote the indigenous group. What is the social aim? To promote the education. And what is the political aim? Annulment of the, just a minute, annulment of the partition. Okay, annulment of the partition. That's it. So okay, what I made is, like I just said, what is the reason? Reason is British government said we are gonna partition Bengal. So that is the reason. So they took up the movement. So what is the course of event? The movement was in two parts. One is anti-partition movement. Okay, one is anti-partition movement, which was from 1903 to 1905. Then there was a Swadeshi movement, so which was from 1905 to 1907. Okay, and what is the outcome? Outcome is Surat split. Just a minute. Okay, Surat split. So the extremist leaders were arrested. Okay, for example, Bal Gangadhar Tilak got arrested, Lala Lajpat Rai escaped to America, and Bipin Chandra Pal retired from the active politics. So the extremist leaders were cornered, and all those things that happened, and the moderates were, okay, moderates realized that they are weak without extremists at that point in time. That is the outcome of the movement. So okay, there can also be a statement like this. Does Swadeshi movement left to the, okay, just a minute. Okay, does the Swadeshi movement lead to the annulment of the partition? The answer is no. So keep this also very clear. Swadeshi movement did not lead to the annulment of the partition. Swadeshi movement was also a failure movement. It was in 1911 or 12, if I am not wrong, okay. I guess 1912. The annulment of the partition took place, where the British government said we are going to annul the partition which we started. Why? Because they need to show to the people that they are good in their way. They are not forcing the people with their own thing, but that's the different story again. Okay, this was the thing happening. So this was the thing you should understand before you approach the particular question. Now let me go back to the question. So what is the question? Just a minute. Okay, so the question was in a two statement question. It was a two statement question. It contributed to the revival of the indigenous group. Yes, obviously, yes, na. And National Council of Education was established as a part of Swadeshi movement. Yes, obviously. And the answer should be C. And is it a easy, moderate, or difficult? It is an easy question. Without any reason, you should have attended this question. There is no reason to leave this question. Okay, fine. So this is the thing. Okay, let me also brief you about the previous year question papers regarding movements. Okay, let's start with 2011. Okay, so in this question they are asking what is the reason, okay, what was the reason for the Mahatma Gandhi to organize a satyagraha on behalf of Kheda. Okay, so to attend this question again I will tell you the second one, how to approach the particular question. And to answer how to approach the particular question, you should know how to read the stuff. See, first of all, if at all you reading the spectrum or any source for that matter, how you should organize your notes, that's what I am trying to figure it out. Okay, if you take Kheda, what is the reason? A reason is, see, there was a law, okay, or there was a remission code in the British itself, where British says if at all there is a drought, okay, you will be given some remission for that. So if your produce is 1/4 of the actual because of any reasons, for example drought, then you are entitled to get the full remission. This was the mentioning given by British itself, okay, but British did not follow it. That led to the Kheda Satyagraha or Kheda movement. Okay, so this is the thing you should understand. What is the reason and course of event? See, whenever the movement is led by Gandhi, you can think it is a non-violent movement, and your thinking is absolutely right. Whenever Gandhi leads some movement, it will be a non-violent movement, and Quit India movement is an exception. Though it is initiated by Gandhi, but Gandhi was arrested in the first day of launching it itself. So it was led by the other leaders. So other leaders in the sense the fresh leaders, all the other leaders, okay, all the top cream layers of leaders got arrested in a single day. That was a great arrest done by British at that point in time. Okay, that's fine. But the course of event here in Kheda is obviously non-violent movement. Okay, and what can be the outcome? Outcome is British said okay fine, we are giving you the remission. And that too British did not say in this way. British said okay, who are capable of paying us the, okay, what can I say, tax can pay, and others are not forced to pay. So it's obviously a victory for Gandhi. Okay, so this is the thing, this is the understanding you should have about the Kheda. Okay, now coming back to the question, the administration did not suspend the land revenue collection in spite of drought. Yes, it's absolutely right reason. That's why Kheda started. The administration proposed to introduce the permanent settlement system. See, this statement, wherever you read, you may not find this particular statement in your books. Okay, so you should understand always what is the only reasons. Okay, see, if at all the movement is there, you should understand what is the reason. So you should not think okay, this can also be a reason. Okay, if you think in that way, you are done. You are not going to write this exam. Okay, so obviously this is not the reason. It's just a statement given to confuse you. Okay, only answer 1 is right. Okay, coming back to the next question. Okay, let's take up the Rowlatt Satyagraha. Okay, before going into it, I'm just again reiterating the approach, because it helps you whenever you read some particular subject or whenever you read particular lesson. You should be able to what can I say, consolidate everything in a single paper. You should be able to understand the concept. That's it. See, the bookish figures or bookish facts, very the important numbers are not needed. You should be conceptually enriching your mind, then only you can approach prelims. Okay, first of all, coming to Rowlatt Satyagraha. Okay, Let me tell you. So again, it was 1914 to 1918, the very important world event happened. What it is? Yes, it is World War I. After World War, in 1919, government came up with a carrot and stick approach. Carrot and stick, okay, approach. Who said these lines? It was in Bipin. Okay, Bipin Chandra told like this. Okay, so what is a carrot? Carrot is 1919 Act. That is, they gave the responsible government, and which we talked about in our previous lessons also. It is not responsible, though it was mentioned in letter. It was not in spirit. Okay, fine. And what is the stick? And the stick is the Rowlatt Act. What is Rowlatt Act? Nothing but a preventive detention. Like anybody can be imprisoned or arrested without okay, what can I say, without any proper charges before court. Like he can be on just anticipation he can be arrested, okay, which we have in under our article also. Even today we have it as a fundamental right, but there are certain exceptions, but that is not our matter of concern today. Okay, so this is the Rowlatt Act. Rowlatt Act is nothing but a preventive detention for preventing any particular crime to happen. The British government can arrest anyone without presenting him before any court for that matter. Okay, so this is the Rowlatt Act. So everybody got much angry about this because it was from 1914 to 1918 all Indians were supporting British in anticipation that the British will devolve more powers to Indians so that Indians can rule themselves. Okay, this was the thing that was going on in the minds of the Indians. But after the World War I, the British showed them this Rowlatt Act, showing that they will suppress any kind of upsurge which will happen in future. So everybody was angry, and there was a nationwide upsurge going on regarding the Rowlatt Act, and Gandhi organized Rowlatt Satyagraha. Okay, it was in this Rowlatt Satyagraha, what can I say, after the okay, when was this Rowlatt Satyagraha was suspended is because of the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, where okay, I guess everybody will know about this very horrible scenario. Okay, that's okay. Let's come back to the session itself. Okay, let's go through the question. Okay, this is a brief understanding which you should have. Okay, what is the background of that particular moment? Whenever you read a moment, background, reason, how the moment was going on, how the moment is progressing, and what is the outcome. Done. Okay, let's go through the question. The Rowlatt Satyagraha was based on the recommendations of the Sedition Committee. Yes, who gave this Rowlatt Act? It was the Sedition Committee, also called as Rowlatt Committee. So this statement is absolutely right. Okay, in Rowlatt Satyagraha, Gandhiji tried to utilize the Home Rule League. See, this statement is somewhat tricky. Okay, let's take up the statement. For example, it was in 1917 to 1918 Home Rule League was organized. Home Rule League, Tilak, yes, Tilak and Annie Besant. So both of them were trying to form the Home Rule League, and they are demanding the Home Rule, that is Home Rule on the lines of the white colonies, like example Australia. So India also should be ruled by Indians, and they should be devolved the power in that lines. Okay, so for that they are organizing the 1917 to 1918 Home Rule League. This Home Rule League was also on the same timeline. See, if at all you are not clear, if you read spectrum, this statement is also there. Okay, where they would have simply said Gandhi utilized Home Rule League and other student movements to collaborate with the Rowlatt Satyagraha to make it as a nationwide movement. Okay, that's fine. But if at all you are not clear with this statement, you could have taken some timeline. Okay, from 1917 to 1918 this Home Rule League was happening, and it was 1919 maybe. Okay, this is risk. Anyhow, it's somewhat educated risk where you can think, okay, Gandhi would have utilized it. Okay, the Simon Commission was there in 1927. And why was Simon Commission? Again, reason. Why Simon Commission? Because there was 1919 Government Act, okay, and to check whether this Government Act satisfy Indians. So, to check this, British Parliament came up with some statutory commission to check this act after 10 years, but they preponed it to 1927 itself instead of 1929. That is, from 1919, after 10 years they thought of setting up this statutory commission, which they preponed it 2 years before, so they kept in 1927. So when you know the reason, you would have came up with that time, that is period. Okay, 1927, and Rowlatt Satyagraha was on 1919. Okay, just a minute, I guess some issue with this pen. Okay, so it was in 1919. So these two time periods does not coincide. So obviously this statement is absolute wrong. So statement 3 is C is wrong, D is wrong because 3 is there na. Okay, I have eliminated it. Okay, coming up with 1 and 2 only. You are almost thinking this should be on the right track, so you can take up a risk between these two options and it will be much more educated guess. So this may not be the right option and this should be the right option. So this is how you should approach the question. Okay, so coming to the 2018 paper regarding the Champaran Satyagraha. See, it will be very good to mention here also. See, I said I will answer why, and I said in the first slide itself why this particular question has come is, whenever you read modern history, whatever the movements are there, if at all there is any important movement, you should analyze that movement based on 3 categories: reasons, what are the course of event, and what is the outcome. So when you are going to read all the movements, any of you are going to answer any of the questions. Any of the questions should be there in 2020 also regarding movements. So obviously that's the reason why the question will come. And any of this question is special. Why? Because it was the 100th anniversary of Champaran Satyagraha in it was in 1917, right? It was 2017. So it was mentioned in Hindu newspaper to a very large extent, and it was asked in 2018. So that's why Champaran Satyagraha was there. Yes, UPSC also takes the current affairs thing into this question making. Okay, fine. So let's analyze this Champaran Satyagraha, and if at all I have to say just about Champaran Satyagraha, Gandhi came back to India in 1915, right? On which date? Obviously you may ask me the question, will UPSC ask what is the exact date? Obviously that may not be the case, but anyhow, why I am saying to see about the date is it can be used in other things. For example, it is Jan 9th 1915, Gandhi returned back to India. But in 2018, no, in 2019, okay, I'm sorry, in 2019 it was not celebrated on 9th January. We celebrate one function to commemorate, okay, the return of Gandhi in a form of Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. Okay, I guess you would have been familiar with these things if you are a old candidate. If you are very new, you should go through the newspaper to get all these stuffs clear. Okay, so it was not celebrated on Jan 9th. Why? Comment me in the comment section. Okay, so this can be your current affairs question. Okay, so always you should never see history as solitary subject. You should try to organically link everything. I'm just reiterating it again because to make you understand about the UPSC trend. Okay, let's go through the question itself. Okay, it took 1 year tour and he went on to every different districts and states of India to understand how India is functioning. Okay, it was in 1917 he went to have some cake. Is it true? No. See, I'm just giving an acronym to make you remember 3 movements. One is Champaran, other is Ahmedabad mill strike, and other is Kheda. So it was the first movement which Gandhi undertook was Champaran. Why he undertook Champaran? The reason. See, again to explain this, I can also give you one more hint or tip how to remember the things. Okay, fine. So let me again don't think too. I'm just going too depth because I'm making you to link the things. Okay, for example, it was in 1859 to 60 some important movements took place in India. What it is? Yes, it was Indigo Revolution. So it was an Indigo Revolution where it was in Bengal. Okay, it was a non-violent movement. That is also very important. You should not think that only after Gandhi comes every movement has become non-violent. Okay, it was even prior Gandhi also there are certain movements which are non-violent. Okay, this was one such movement which was a non-violent movement, okay, which was organized by Digambar Biswas, okay, if I am not wrong. Okay, so they organized the Indigo Revolution, okay, to stop or to abandon or to stop every movements of forced cultivation. See, there was a favorite thing going on by British, where the British planters or European planters are forcing our peasants to make to grow the only okay, specified cash crops or commercial crops, so that they can earn more. So it was like that, okay. It was the indigo plants which were forced to be cultivated. Then all the peasants organized a movement against this, and they got victory also. So forced cultivation was stopped in Bengal. Okay, what is the state near to Bengal? So where everybody can move on? Obviously it is Bihar, na? Obviously the planters came from Bengal into Bihar, and they chose Champaran for the indigo cultivation. So from 1860 till 1917, almost 50 to 60 years, there was a forced cultivation in Champaran, that is in Bihar now. So that was taken care by Gandhi. So Gandhi, the same way, he said, he organized the movement, okay. He said to the commission that this is wrong and it needs to be abolished, everything. Okay, let's go through the options. So I just said what is the reason behind it, okay. An active all India participation of lawyers. Where come the lawyers came here? No, this is a wrong statement. Dalits, no, they are tribals, they are peasants, not tribals or Dalits. This is also a wrong statement. Joining of peasants unrest to India's national movement. Let's keep this option. This is very good. Okay, drastic decrease. Okay, good. My God. See, will the planters decrease their commercial crops plantation? No, they will increase it, because that gives them more profit, na. So obviously this is logically incorrect. Okay, they will not decrease it. British will never decrease the commercial crops. Okay, obviously you should take option C, and that is the right option also. So it is that Champaran Satyagraha where the peasants unrest was joined to Indian national movement. From now onwards, from 1917 onwards, not only the upper class like lawyers were there in the Indian national movement, it was also peasants, it was also laborers from Ahmedabad mill strike. Everybody joined their hands in their national movement. Okay, fine. So this is how you should approach this particular question. So I made everything clear. I made justice to this also. Fine. See, as I promised, let me conclude this type. Okay, it's more time consuming. Okay, first of all, you should understand, okay, whenever there is any movement, you should understand what is the reason, what is the course of event, and what is the outcome. And I said you can answer the question. So this is done how to read, and what is the source can be spectrum. If at all you have time, you can also go through Bipin Chandra, but reading Bipin Chandra will give you much more conceptual understanding. Okay, then it was finally your takeaway should be to make notes of very important moments and make everything clear. Try to link everything organically. Done. Okay, now sometimes UPSC show that UPSC is still the boss. Fine, let's take up this question from 2018. See, I would definitely say this question as a difficult question. Why? Let me tell you. See, after the Santhal uprising subsided, okay, what were the measures taken by the British government? That was the question. The territories called the Santhal Parangans, okay, were created. Okay, it became illegal for the Santhal to transfer the land to the non-Santhals. See, first statement you could have got it from reading the standard books, but I don't think the second statement is mentioned anywhere. See, this is an outcome based question. Again, they are asking what is the aftermath or what is the outcome of the Santhal uprising. Okay, but in this question they went a further step. Okay, they made the question very tough by making the second statement. So if you think like I have to attend all the questions from the movements, it may not be possible. So I just put this slide. Okay, this slide also. Okay, so you should have a educated guess to leave this question, according to me. If at all you have read the optional books also, if at all your optional is history, then you would have attended this question also. So in that way you should also be ready to leave the questions which is not meant for your preparation. Okay, fine. So I thought of telling this question because, okay, I should not say it's very easy. It's a cakewalk to solve all the questions of UPSC. Yes, there are certain questions in UPSC which is very difficult to answer. Okay, but if it is difficult for you, it's going to be difficult for everybody. Have this in your mind. Okay, fine. So that's it. The takeaway, as I said, the takeaway is, okay, there can be certain very tough questions. Leave that. Remaining, you should concentrate the same things: reasons, course of event, and outcomes. Done. Thank you. Let's start with the type 3.